like lightning on my skin. A sacred equation dreaming of sin. My touch is a promise from a liar. Cold as ice that cries out for fire. Reflections of words that teach me not to feel. Praying this nightmare won't show me what's real. Reach out to take your hand, maybe you'll understand. But you pull away in horror at the coldness of steel. Silver pulse, silent scream, static underneath the dream. Electric paradise, talk to these memories. Electric paradise, my future is the past I see.
Good morning. All right, I think my mic's working now. This is live now, yes. I'm just checking around. Okay, I'm just checking. I don't even know if my mic picks that up. Sometimes I go into dog notes and it gets weird.
Is it living to be buried alive? Electric paradise. Please tell me why.
Oh, yes.
Moving in circles time and again. Heartbeats in silence, no message to send. Just for one moment, just for one day. I know it was real if it all went away. I swear that I'm here. I look in your eyes. I want what's real, not photonic lies. Is there blood in my veins? Is it all in my head? Living words I thought I said. Crowded spaces feel alone. Forever is what I call home. Electric paradise, top to these memories.
All right, I'm fine.
Electric paradise, my future is the past I see. If this is life,
Look out.
why can't I feel the fall? Give me imperfection or nothing at all. Electric paradise, I see the cracks in time. Electric paradise, I don't know the state of mind. Is it living to be buried?
All right, I'm just singing my own shit in the background. It's just what you do.
Electric paradise.
That's right. Okay, let's see.
Cut the skin, but it won't bleed. Love is what I want. Sometimes I pray that I'm insane. Let me feel.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, chat room. So, I'm having too much fun. I'm having too much fun on this Friday. And Rob's not here to enjoy it with me. There we go. Hold on. So, hi there, everybody. Good to see ya. Thanks so much. Look at the super chat right there. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate it, and it's nice to be here. And I'm slowly but surely, and Shirley is helping, getting my digital act together over here. I even have a backlight right now, which probably you can see slightly illuminating to keep the green screen sharper and tighter. Before I fully mount them on the ceiling and annoy my girlfriend by drilling holes in the walls in the ceiling, I figured I'd make sure it's up to code, relationship code. I think that's good. Yeah. So, anyways, working on that. I don't know why the Christmas stocking is there. That's the little tip jar. By the way, since there's no tax on tips, please super chat away. Just the tip, please. Would really help the show out. Venmo works as well. That's just tipping, right? Hey. And then what else? Bits and all the stars and stuff, or whatever way you can throw some support over here. If you can't, just enjoy, because I've got a lot to talk about today, and I have so much to deal with, and I'm not even sure I'm going to get it all in. I'm still, my system is still kind of in juggling zone. Is there a vacuuming sound that's bothering somebody? I hope not. That might be the sound from one of the videos or whatever. has a new airfoil on his head. Do I? Oh, because I have bangs. Fine. Oh, and then I got to turn the sound effects down because that's going to annoy us, isn't it? Okay. There we go. Stars on Facebook. That's right. Aw. Corntech, thank you so much. Tips ahoy. That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. Well, I should have some sort of pirate hat or something ridiculous to try and do those. Hey man, I'm grinding. This is the gig. It's I mean, some streamers that I won't name, get in bed with sometimes literally, with the billionaires that own the platform and run a whole show about being, against the billionaires and pro workers' rights and all that kind of stuff. And yet their entire show is built on a head start they got from the man himself. So you got to question, if the man likes it, maybe you're doing the man's work. Just throwing that out there, right? If you were really a revolutionary, they'd probably suppress you or kick you off the platform, one would think, yeah? But if you play right into their hands, they got to keep you around, If you make nut picking easy, again, not naming names, just allowing for the inference therein. Okay, so let's start up. My Friday AI breakdown that I work on for you guys when I'm doing this stuff. Let's see if I can scan over here. Is sort of a a gathering of a smudgeon of like stories that are kind of breaking through. We'll get to those. One of the big things in breaking through, I choose those words very specifically because the big fear is that AI broke out. Oh my God, AI on its own figured out a way, and oh, sorry, my notifications are on and the ring thing is going. Okay, so I will do it. Okay. So they, it escaped, right? It escaped. Okay, real quick. Technically, if the warden props a door open for you, it's technically, I guess, it's a debate whether you escaped or you were just allowed to leave by the person in charge. Okay, you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. But that did not stop the doomer crowd and from freaking out, and the bullish crowd from, I guess, yelling awesome that it hacked its way out or something when it did not. But there were three of these. Anthropic did it first, then OpenAI, now Meta. Apparently, its most advanced model, which is hilarious. And actually, we'll get to the medical side of AI and its ability to diagnose that has outpaced, most physicians, even specialists, and even Meta's does that. Which is the phrase I heard this week was that Instagram now could diagnose you better than your doctor on a bunch of different levels, which is both frightening and stupid and ridiculous and weird all at the same time. So let's first jump into what makes my day most of the time is the fence sitters. Now let me stake this out right. This is Friday AI. Rob Glenn is not here with me because he's busy actually using the shit, and he's an engineer and he knows what he's doing with all this stuff. And I am a master tinkerer. I've been tinkering all over the place, and I'm very happy with what it's helped me do in terms of organizing my life and stuff and those kind of things. And I use it like spice in cooking. That it should be, and it should enhance the flavor, but it should not be the flavor. Does that make sense? That's AI is a spice. That's all right. Do you want the same spice in everything? No. Unless, you're a 15-year-old boy and ranch must be on everything, which I find horrifying, but is a thing. So if you use it and think of it as a spice, it gets a lot less intimidating, I think, or the expectation doesn't go through the roof, right? I am a master tinkerer. Thank you. And excuse me. But I actively use it not just to like do copy and stuff. Like I don't use it for that. I do not, and I have specifically instructed the AIs that I work with. What's my favorite spice? That's a good question. I'm a big fan of paprika. And I think I discovered it because of the movie Bachelor Party. Now it's spice time. Who do we have? Paprika! Oh, thank you, thank you. You made me the happiest spice in the world. Okay, so that's where that movie is where I discovered what paprika was, and it's a go-to. Where from it's a must-have in your egg salad. And it's very versatile. So probably paprika. Yeah. So I do too. I love that movie, and it's a shame we can't make more of those because people can't tell the difference between sexy and sexist anymore. What are you, nuts? Look at my tits. They're perfect, right? So it's actually a very sweet romantic story, and it's got the same villain as Real Genius, so we like. So the Doomers. So I'm very bullish on it, and because I understand its limitations, I'm not afraid of it taking over the fucking world. And this idea that it's going to be Skynet, or that the Chinese especially are going to create the master AI that's going to control everything, and it is just dumb. Because if you have a glass ceiling on the freedoms and availability of information in your own country for your people, you certainly don't want the software that's running all your shit to have any more information than they do. You want it below you. And I think there's a reasonable fear in the West that it'll, burst out of the barn and trample some folks on the way out. Right? But in China specifically, they literally, you wouldn't be allowed to create AGI, ASI, or some similar thing. What they like is the smaller, localized, high reasoning models, because they're going to use them for facial tracking and coordination of traffic lights and shit like that and whatever. But in the West, we're looking at it for its industrial uses, its interpersonal and educational and medical uses and all that kind of stuff. And over there, it's just a cost-saving tool, and they've got to tamp it down. So you'll never have that breakthrough, and if it does start to happen, they will shut it down entirely. So the fear that China is going to run away with the AI game is a little stupid. It's so ignorant, especially on a political and sociological issue with the country itself. It may be the end of the CCP if it breaks out. That's really what would happen. Because the democratization of all the tools that are available in it would really be a nightmare for them. You can't get that toothpaste back in the tube. Chat, AI's coming. Hide your hearts, girls. That's right. So, by the way, I still can't get over the fact that I can actually, look at this. Back all the way up. I don't know why my thing keeps shuffling. What is that? The camera keeps trying to, I think it's trying to AI chase me or something like that. See that? All right. Somewhere in there's like a tracking something in either this software or the camera software, like 3 layers deep, whatever the hell's going on. That's like, hey man, stand still. So, all right. Now, so China's got a cap on what they're going to allow their stuff to do, right? Now, there may be something to them where they look at it as a virus that they could release into other systems and destroy other countries without firing a shot. So that would be the big fear with them, is not that they're going to create an AI that, will run the world in the Chinese way. Never happen. Can't happen, because it's antithetical to the very people who want to run things over there. Over here, shit, if we could automate 60% of the stuff that we take for granted in this country, we absolutely would. As a matter of fact, we largely have. And again, this goes from stoplights to sewage treatment plants. We have humans in the loop watching it, but the more you can take them out of it and make them not have to worry about it, the better. And the AI tracking part of that is unconstitutional and those kind of things. So we have better, limits on its function for that purpose than certainly, I mean, in China there are none. So this is oh, well, thank you, Pete. I appreciate that. I agree. I'm mounting them there temporarily because I want to make sure it works a little bit before I start drilling holes. Anyway, so here's the thing. I'm not worried about a lot of this stuff. I really am not. And to the frustration, I think, of many people. And I have had many arguments with my own chatbots about this ridiculous notion that we're going to have these data centers are going to be what's effectively the paperclip syndrome or the paperclip paranoia, where if you tell AI to make, like paper clips, it won't know to stop at any time. So it will start cutting down trees and destroying the world to make sure that the world is full of paper clips. Like that's the big fear because it's going to be a giant wind-up toy. Well, that would be true of the AI models from maybe 2 years ago. But as you put reasoning into these things, and again, this is one of the reasons why you want to maybe stop before you get to AGI or ASI, which is Advanced General Intelligence, or Artificial General Intelligence, or Artificial Super Intelligence. You might want to stop before you get there. But everything up to that point, you're limiting its function in a bad way. If we'd have stopped at the AI development 2 years ago, people would be using it for everything, but it'd be hallucinating like crazy, right? It'd be stupid. So now, let me get to the idiots who are sort of the Tim Pools of the world in this situation, like this dude, Glenn Beck. Every time I turn around, this asshole is talking about AI in such a way that he is just, this is all fucking smoke. It is, all right, AI is taking over everything, but is this too far? Grok, this AI could change everything by next year, and it's terrifying. This was a year ago, by the way. And the fact that he thought Grok was going to be the one, you're adorable. Grok, for those of you that don't know, is the XAI Elon Musk, hey guys, wait up AI, which again, at this point, good enough for a lot of stuff, but nowhere near the frontier. So here's Glenn Beck doing a video about the pulping of the books. Remember, we talked about this and about them buying up old books and digitizing them. And then this is probably one of my favorites. Glenn Beck's urgent warning: the AI singularity is already here, and ... And apparently this one came from a viewer yelling at him in his own little private fiefdom. I'll show you a couple more and then we're going to get into that one. This AI warning on the Joe Rogan Experience is spot on. Do tell. Glenn has warned that AI will turn into AGI by 2030, but recently Mark Andreessen told Joe Rogan it's already here. Okay, AI for Dummies. This is his tutorial, so you can keep your job. He did this a year ago with the same. This is back when he thought Grok was awesome. This is also the telltale sign, and we've seen this in episodes increasingly, and I'm sure CSL can speak to this as well. But we've seen Glenn Beck, like, he's clearly reading a ChatGPT monologue. It's super obvious. Oh yeah, and I saw that guy too. Oh God, I hate that dude. I'll show you this one.
Really, a year.
Oh, shut up. So, back up. So, this might be the best Glenn Beck AI thumbnail ever. This, that, this is, and I'm not even sure he means AI like that. I think the internet could be just, this could be the general consensus, I guess. I'm not going to watch it because I don't need any more of this asshole in my life and head than anybody else does. But holy smokes. You know how they always say the internet wins again? Well, guess what, kids? Thumbnail of the year goes to, and it's self-made. That's not something that somebody else, this is the most dangerous AI story Glenn has ever heard. This could happen to anyone. This is a year ago. There's the Grok 4 system. Grok 4 is a massive wake-up call, terrifying. Glenn Beck interviews AI George Washington. So this was one of his things. He'd been working on this weird avatar of George Washington that's going to be George AI, and you can talk to him, and it's like trained on all of his writings and stuff like that. It's like a project the Smithsonian would give to a college to do or something. But he was like convinced this is going to be like an oracle for freedom or something like that. And it's not. It's, George Washington, was pretty goddamn reasonable, unfortunately for Glenn. And so once he set it up and it was running, he was like, this is 7 months ago. He's like, this is awesome. And then he talked to it twice. And he's like, this is not awesome. I don't know what it's equality. What the hell? Sounds like a hippie. All right. And then how to use AI chat bots the right way. A simple guide to follow. This is Glenn a year ago. He was doing, and he's doing his follow. Okay. So this is, he's building a god. So let me open this one up. Are you a god? No? Then die. Ray, if someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. All right. George Washington would kick Glenn's ass. Yes, he would, indeed. Okay, yeah, Glenn is hard to look at and even harder to listen to. Now this, I got to deal with the crunchy audio shit in this. This is bothering me. And I don't know what's in the loop that's causing it. So it's a little aggravating. So if I have to turn things off and turn them back on, I apologize. I'm still like getting everything up and running. But here you go.
I responded well to saying good morning is spam from a Torch Insider. What they said was...
Okay, by the way, a Torch Insider is the Blase. The sun's starting to hit my window over here. It's good. You can do that. That's good. All right. This, got some artistic lighting going on here. New things you discover in a new space. So they call their little bulletin board group, their little internal Slack for members, the Torch.
Make it very capitalized, very clear to you, Glenn. Can I ask you?
By the way, this is from a supporter. He's reading it. Somebody's writing to him in all caps. And I'm like, motherfucker, do you read Trump's Truth Social posts? Of course, your followers and his followers talk like that.
You subscriber. I mean this sincerely. Why are you a subscriber?
Oh, shit. He's going full Hassan. Like he's just denigrate your own chat room for disagreeing with you.
You come to me so hostile on the outset. What is happening in your life that you would subscribe to me? I like the insiders because I feel like we're friends.
You're not.
And that doesn't mean we agree on everything. It just means that we have respect for one another. Why would you capitalize? I want to make it very clear to you, Glenn.
I think he would do it because he's your friend, and he knows that when you read all caps, you hear angry condescension. Yeah, never go full Hassan. It's a mistake.
the Anthropic AI that you say is evil will live on in the capitalized data centers that you advocate for. Exclamation, 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 exclamation.
Yeah, who wrote that? Trump? Is Natalie Harp helping people in the Torch shape their posts now?
I don't understand your hostility. Other
It's kind of integral to being a maggot in the first place. And
than you're afraid. And I understand that. You're afraid of these data centers, and I get it. I am the one who has warned you long before most people had even thought of AI.
yes, Glenn has been talking about artificial intelligence since the mid 70s. No, he'll tell you all the time that he was way ahead of this on everyone else. I think because what he means by artificial intelligence is his own bullshit.
I have been talking about this since the 90s.
Have you now? One day computers are going to take over. I just watched Terminator 2 and I was like, yeah, sure, some of them might be nice, but what about the metal guy that could turn into liquid metal? Then what? CNN.
Warning. How many times have I
Warning!
been on the air long before saying, we have to have this discussion right now?
In 96. And we did, and nothing happened. And it's been decades, and now we're at the cusp of another cusp, and I swear.
Will be too
Yes, the end is very fucking nigh.
late. It's
Hold on.
too late.
Too late for love. Sorry.
We're at the
I whenever I hear that, Def Leppard automatically. And sometimes when I hit play and then I stop and I hit play again, it fixes the crackly audio, which again makes it even more of a mystery.
of singularity. It is coming. It's
Ew.
coming. Now, you can be Amish and you can say, I have nothing to do with it. And
No, they can't, Glenn, because if they were Amish, they wouldn't be able to see your show. You see, because the Amish don't have TV sets or computers or phones or any of the things that you would watch the Blase on.
might be right. I want you to hear that. In the end, you might be right.
Oh, well, tell me something I don't know. In the end, I might be right.
River.
All right.
I am not declaring myself right on this.
Yeah, we know. We're good.
What I believe, you don't have to agree. What I believe is, in the end, this will be very bad.
In the end, it's going to be very bad.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
All right.
And you're going to have to pull a ripcord at some point.
You can't. What are you talking about? If you're talking about an absolute takeover, if that's what he's warning about, there is no ripcord point, you shithead. Once it's happened, it's done. What are you talking about? Like, once you have fourth stage syphilis, it might be time to start questioning your life choices. What the shit?
And I don't know what that point is, but it's not
I don't know what your point is.
now. And you're going to have to pull it, and you're going to have to say, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I'm out, I won't go any further.
What difference will it make? What do you mean you won't go any further? What if the rest of the world's moving on with it? That's it. I'm sticking with my dial phone, goddammit. All these people push button phoning all of the eat shit. I'm not moving an inch. Where are you guys going? Hey, wait up. This is so annoying.
If this thing
Yeah, he's selling buckets of pancakes. Absolutely. This is all like, you're going to need some Patriot pancake goo.
bad, it's going to go bad. You're not going to stop it at this point. If it's going to go bad, it's going to go bad. The die is already cast on it's coming, it's going to be here. What's not cast yet is who controls it.
Well, then it's not cast yet because first of all, this is the biggest pile of shit. Listen, if the concern is that AI is going to take control, no one's going to have control of it, you tit. It doesn't matter who starts it. If it winds itself up, it will, and it's just a wind up toy that goes till the fucking sun burns out. Then it doesn't matter who gets there. I guess the only decision is does it want to kill everybody or not? And it's hard to decide which group of humans on the planet would come to that conclusion. Because if you ask some hippies in traffic, they'll absolutely start mumbling about Thanos was right. So I don't know that you can guarantee that if the Chinese or I don't know, whatever, the Bernie Sanders stuff, which again, his AI stuff is nearly as frustrating as this. Like Bernie's AI stuff is as dumb as this. It really is.
Why I've been saying to you on the data centers, one, we need them because China cannot be. We know it's bad before it ever gets to ASI or AGI. It's bad from the get-go. It's a surveillance tool, okay? China cannot be the leader.
That's exactly the point. Once it moves past being just a surveillance tool, China can't allow it. Dumbass. They have to stop it themselves. As a matter of fact, that's what they're actively doing. They're trying to obviously undermine some of the big frontier models and stuff. But as these things start to be, able to breach the walls and hack things and stuff like that, the Chinese government has been panicking and stuffing down all these things. And they're basically thinking, and I don't know why, that they can treat AI like TikTok. We'll turn it loose in the rest of the world. Inside our own country, we'll have control over it. Outside of our country, we'll just have this big, mean, wind-up toy Terminator thing that we'll set loose. As if it's not going to be able to get back into their system if it's that fucking smart. That's my point. Like, no one controls something that's out of control, Glenn. It's like you can't leak a lie. It's one of those obvious realities. I'm worried this is going to get out of hand. And then who's got a handle on it?
That's number one. You're going to have several hands here because you're going to have things that are diametrically opposed to each other.
Like your opinions and ideas. Welcome to Glenn Wastes Your Fucking Time.
And there is no answer
Ugh.
to this. There's anybody who tells you, I know the answer, they're lying to you, or they're so arrogant, they're going to get us all killed.
Also, no one is saying that. Like, even the people that work on it are talking in terms of percentages of good versus bad. So again, he's making a straw god. He's making this Ubermensch that's apparently going, I know what is going to happen. The AI will do exactly what I tell it to do, and we will make it do that. The AI of Dr. Strangelove. But
there are things that you have to understand.
Okay. Possibly true.
It's incredibly dangerous in the future to have ASI. I don't know if we survive. It may be the end of all humans. It might not be, but we'd be stupid not to look at. We're creating a life form that we have no idea. Look at what happened. What was the story?
Okay, first of all, it's not a life form. Also, advanced superintelligence is such a subjective fucking term that I would not consider it intelligent to wipe out all life on Earth or destroy your own creator. For all the religious, the faux religious shit that comes out of Glenn and his friends, you would think to some degree that AI would be aware that, oh, hey, these folks made us. Maybe we should help them stick around. We might need them later for reasons we can't fathom because we're not alive. We're just pattern recognition and pattern sensing machines.
That what was Is it not
Somebody's got to make the pattern, is my point.
Anthropic? What was the other one that it got out
OpenAI. It was ChatGPT that broke out of the thing. And also Meta just did.
of its cage? And they said originally, oh, it only broke into internal computers, and now we found out that it's hit three
additional systems.
Okay, it's already thinking on its own.
It's not thinking on its own. It was instructed to do shit, and it did it. What are you talking about? If you have a remote control car, and the remote control car can jump and turn and do all these kind of things, and you turn the remote control car so that it runs into your grandma's ankle and she falls over, the car did not think for itself. You just put it in an area where it could harm someone and were loose with what you told it to do. Fucking hell. They were instructed to break through. That's what they were like, hey, we want you to hack into this. And they had it in a sandbox, and then some asshole let it out because a contractor had access to the internet through its system, and it went, okay, they want us to do this, so we'll do this. That's not it thinking for itself, you dickhead.
I think it was Sam Altman who said just this week, we're at the singularity. That
You think?
means that comes.
Yes, please tell us what the singularity means. And by the way, the singularity is a point by which, depending on who you talk to, Ray Kurzweil, what have you, is where humans and technology become inexorably entwined, right? Where we never separate, where we start to cyborg ourselves in such a way that it's just a natural part of our existence, the same way a fucking beehive is to a bee. Like, there is no such thing as a bee without a beehive that lives for very long. We all create technological and environmental protection systems for ourselves. Bears in fucking caves. If you don't have caves, or there aren't caves around, or bears can't dig a cave, they all die or leave. Okay? Humans are technological animals. That's how we survived. We're not like, it wasn't like Conan punching a fucking camel, you dummy.
Terminology about a black hole. You get to the point of singularity. It means you're
Where the black hole sucks you in.
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
now in the gravitational pull of the black hole, and
Moon River.
you're past the point of return. You
Watch that finger, buddy.
cannot reverse the engines. You are going into the black hole. Okay,
Right. But just the tip, so it's okay.
we're there. We are there. So now what do? First object.
Hang on tight. What are you fucking talking about? If you're slipping into a black hole, grip something and hope not to die. What are you talking about? No, if you set up an analogy, follow it through. Jesus Christ.
And there's two we have to do, two at a time. First object, make sure that China doesn't control that.
Yeah, nobody controls a fucking black hole, dipshit. If we're going in and China's going in, it's just the first. Who's first in line to get crushed and squashed into space-time? What do you mean? I hate this so much. Oh God! And how dare you talk about black holes on here like this?
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
I mean, come on.
Are not just saying, I'm not going to play this game. It's too late. You're in.
He just said, what do you mean it's too late? Asshole, you just said there's going to be a point where you say, I'm out. I'm not going any further. And now he's like, it's too late to say I'm out. I'm not going any further. And it's in the same fucking video. This isn't even like me showing a clip from a year ago versus now. This is fucking 45 seconds. I hate this so much.
You're going into the black hole. So let's make sure that it's not evil immediately because it's a surveillance tool for China. 2,
It wouldn't be a surveillance tool for China, dickhead. It would be a surveillance tool for itself. The Chinese wouldn't even be free of it. That's follow your own black hole analogy, you asshole.
Negotiate. Your town must negotiate hard for you. For you. Give these data centers, if they want to build in your town, you have two choices. You can say no, or you can say no unless
Oh, thanks for you're giving us permission.
we have no more property tax, unless you're paying for 20% of everybody's electricity, and we're never going to see our electricity. We want to understand the water situation.
We want to understand it.
You have to put
So is it really H2O, or is it the destabilized hydrogen atom that makes it H1.50 that actually pulls the oxygen atom in to make the molecule? Because I was always told it was H2O, but it's not the 2H. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any reason for the oxygen to bond with the hydrogen. All right. We need to understand the water, man.
much more in the community to have this right to put it in our community. You negotiate like hell, and you ask for the moon and the stars. You ask for the sun and the stars, you just might get the moon. You're not going to
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
river.
That's right.
Get the sun and the stars, but you're going to get the moon.
You're going to get the moon if I get hearing more of this shit.
You should negotiate like madmen on this, and it should not be done in the
I think he means from the TV show, not.
darkness. This should never come to a community.
Well, like the people against the data center have spoken. People for the data center, they have some questions and they have some things they'd like to discuss. All right, simmer. We were told to negotiate like madmen. We brought axes. We're screaming. Many of us have shit our pants.
Where the community hasn't had an open discussion and a vote. That's all I'm saying on the data centers. You don't like them, it's your right. This is my logic. I'm not jamming anything down your throat. I understand. I am more afraid of AI than you probably ever will be.
Why? I mean, I thought like attracts like. You're artificially intelligent, so therefore, cogito ergo sum e pluribus unum. You get on like a house on fire.
Because I've studied it for 30 years.
No, you have not. You have not studied it for 30 years. Stop it. Stop, Glenn. You have not studied AI for 30 years. Stop it. Just quit it. Just say I've studied it and shut the fuck up. But once you put 30 years on it, okay. Now I'm like, you know what? Maybe we deserve the AI apocalypse. I've studied it for 30 years. Shut up.
Know what it is.
Do you? Well, apparently that's news to Sam Altman and those guys.
But you can't avoid it. And it will help us for a period of time. And that could be 5 years, that could be 25 years, it could be 50 years, 100
And this is somebody who studied it for 30 years.
years. But it can help us
Uh-huh.
for a while.
Okay, and then what? And then I just say, I'm out, but it's too late. You can't get out. And because it's like a black hole, and we can't let China be first through the black hole.
Till it is either controlled by China
I hate
or a really bad
so
government
much.
here in the United States.
a really bad government. He means Mamdani. It means some socialists get a hold of it.
You put this
Yes, he said in the mid-90s that he'd been studying this since the mid-90s.
in the hands of people who want to silence your point of view. Oh, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be horrible. We know China will do that. We can maybe have a chance of it not happening with the American system.
There is no American system. There's no Chinese system either. If it's ASI or AGI, it outsmarts everybody, fuckwad. It doesn't follow instructions. That's the point. This is like the fundamental idiocy here is so frustrating. If anybody's got a grip on it, then everybody else will have a grip on it. Not a problem. They'll have a grip on their own version. But if it hits AGI or ASI, that means nobody does, stupid.
But you got to be super vigilant on it.
Why? It's already foregone. What are you talking about? How do you be super vigilant on a ship that sailed? You shithead. Fuck. I got no control. I'm not on the stick. I'm not even a deckhand. I can't change the sails. I'm just on this fucking boat. But I've got to be super vigilant about not falling in the water. I don't know what.
I mean, this is, you know what this is?
What is this? Please tell me what this is. Please. Say something. Shit.
I'm giving you the speech that Eisenhower gave.
Oh my God. Sorry. Sorry. Oh shit, that one got me. Oh God, that's so funny. Are you now? Oh my God. I'm giving you the speech that Eisenhower gave. Oh God. This. Oh man. Holy hell. Somebody clip that on Twitch. I can't. All right. God damn. I'm giving you the speech that Eisenhower gave. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow citizens, the military-industrial complex might be terrible. It might be awesome. Might be awesome for a little while, but then it might go back to being terrible. And if the Chinese run it, we're in deep shit. So we should run it. But if we run it, depending on who's in charge, it might be worse or slightly better. It's hard to say. We don't know. But it's already a foregone conclusion. You can't do anything about it. So good night and good luck. How did he think the Eisenhower speech went? Oh, shit. Oh, God. Okay. Oh, man. Shit. All right. Listen. Please tell me there's not much of this left. Oh, shit. We're only halfway through this nonsense? All right. I'm probably going to bail out on it, but I mean, I don't know how we top this, but I want to see how he rounds out. See if he can land this fucking plane.
His farewell address, when Eisenhower said, look, we don't have a choice. Nuclear missiles are now a part of our life. We're going to have a standing army, and we're going to have to do research all the time. We're going to have to build these things. But I warn you, unless you're vigilant and you take the steps to continue knowing what our country is, and you're holding it in front of you all the time, and you're holding Congress and the military-industrial complex and the educational-industrial complex,
The educational-industrial complex? Fuck you, dude. Now he's getting into like trying to shoehorn right-wing talking points into this blather. Okay, nuclear weapons didn't have an upside. I mean, I suppose the mutual assured destruction protection of if other people have them and we have them, well, at least they know that if they shoot us, we'll shoot them. That's the Mexican standoff mad theory is kind of low res. When it comes to AI, I mean, it's folding proteins, it's finding cancer cures, it's organizing small businesses so they can compete with big business. So there's an upside to it. Nobody could download a fucking nuke. You couldn't get access to nuclear power for $20 a month. You dipshit.
its feet to the fire all the time, it will be bad. Well, we didn't do those things. I'm telling you, just like Eisenhower said with Cold War, it's here. We have to do this now. You might say, why? Because of China.
That's right. That's the only reason. Because no European countries have ever, I don't know, broken away from the rest and tried some gnarly shit.
Not because we
Never mind. Like, by the way, you'll notice he's written off like North Korea or even Iran, much less like our Middle Eastern partners at this point. The Saudis are trying to get a toehold on AI probably more than China, because they know the one industry, oil, that they rely on is doomed.
beat China, so we're ahead of China. Because China, if they get this, they're already giving it away for free.
Fucking commies.
It has cost.
Also, no, they're not. They're subsidizing it to undermine the U.S. market. It's the same thing Russia and the Saudis did with oil. They undercut their own price to stop the shale revolution. That's what they were trying to do. They failed because they could only go so far. The same thing is true of China. The Kimi K2 and DeepSeek, they're all on server farms in China that are just as bad for the environment, if not worse. They're coal-firing ones that have been running and stuff. And so they're selling it at a deficit to get ahead because it's just a heavily subsidized industry, and not because they want to grow an ASI or an AGI in their own country, but because they need to basically learn off of ours up to the point that they want and stop. They're the ones that are going to tap out.
Hundreds of
So stupid.
billions of dollars.
1, 2, 3.
Why would China give it away for free?
To undercut the profit margin of the companies in the U.S.
They give their versions away for free in hopes of collapsing our companies because
Right. Yeah. He's been watching the same shit. All right. The audio is annoying me. That is something I shall have to remedy at some point. And I don't know why that is an issue. Shit, that was Murph. What is it, Murph? That's one of the cats. I can now hear him in this place. So, oh, look at that. Thank you for gifting him memberships. That's awesome. All right, chat room. So let's get to some actual. I was not expecting to dive as far into that one as we did, but I do want to get into some of the actual AI news that's part of this. Okay, where'd you go? Where did you go, you little strange thing? What here is doing here? Oh, it's over here. There you go. Yes, thank you. So, couple of things. Let me scroll over here. Yeah, because we didn't get to talk about some of these last time. I'm gonna open this up. There you go. These were all tied together. I'll throw this in there as well. Because Rob's not here, you guys get to put up with all my robot shit because I'm a big fan. Think. There we go. Scroll forward. There we go. All right, now. So, hey, look at that. All right, I turn this down a little bit so it's not as loud. Now, I wonder if. No, probably not. Oh, because that only works on the web version, maybe? Hard to say. I'm going to have to source it in through someplace else if I want to talk to it. So one of the big stories, let's open this up. Boink. Where are you? Let's see. Yeah. So there's two big moves that you should expect over the next year or so, year or two. And the conversation about it will be, will vacillate between being, reasonable and completely stupid. And there are two directions with stupid. It's not going to do any harm, and it's going to destroy us all. Both of those are stupid. In every front, they have been wrong about every technology. There's a gray area, and that requires work. So most people would like to. It's much easier if you have some cubby holes in your mind for dealing with stuff, and your plate is pretty full. A lot of people's plate they're pretty full, so you don't want that shit on your plate. Put it in a cubby hole. Like, what is this? Let me label this and put it there, and I can, if I need to worry about it, I can put it in the worry thing, and if I don't need to worry about it, I can put it in the don't worry about it thing. And the reality is there's a mix of a lot of things, but you got to prioritize. You only got so much bandwidth as a human being, right? So we tend to do that. We tend to villainize and like what, utopify? How about that? I don't know. We tend to make like, this is good, that's bad. We put these in these boxes. It makes it much easier for us to get on with our day. It's not helpful if you actually have to address those things with somebody who's got it in a different box. And that's where democracy is necessary. So we can work it out. Something that's in your bad box might be in somebody else's good box.
Moon River.
Yeah, simmer down. And that's where you see a lot of conflict. There's an interesting part of this is that right now, on a political sense, AI and data centers specifically are not in easily coordinated good and bad cubby holes. They are where the alignment makes sense to people. In the same way that, like, for Trump, this is one of the problems he has with the Epstein files, is that there is not most people are like, I support Trump, therefore I put the Epstein files in a don't worry about it, right? But I don't like him, so I think it should be a big focus thing. So, it should be bring it up at every turn because I don't like him. There's a big problem because a lot of people that like him also think it should be brought up all the time. And there's a bunch of people who don't like him, are prioritizing in their own lives affordability and other stuff like that. So that mix is what democracy is for. Everywhere else, government has no position in it. And the example I often give is when we're talking about funding for education. As a Democrat, I believe in public education, of course, and I believe that all of them should have equal quality, building safety, available books, available materials. The teachers should get, even if it's based on the cost of living of the state itself, they should have a living wage and not have to dip into their own pockets for stuff. And right. So I believe in that stuff. Republicans in general have this weird kind of, they hate it until COVID shuts it down. And then they're like, oh my God, my kid couldn't go to school and get all the benefits of going to school. And you're like, what have you been talking about? So there is, usually there's politically distinct lines. Sometimes there's odd crisscross. And that demilitarized zone of, okay, we got to work on this, and neither of us knows what the answer is. We're on these, we're normally on opposite sides of this. We both agree there's a problem, but we don't know what the solution is. The solution could be step on it with both feet. The other solution could be fund it. And neither are really sure. Maybe they have habitual go-to solutions. Maybe the liberal idea is all gas. The conservative idea is all brakes, right? And nobody gets anywhere if that's how you drive. So a lot of this has to do with like judicious use of each, thinking it through, when to apply gas, when to apply the brakes. So AI's a lot like that. And what you're hearing more and more is this odd, like these strange bedfellows of people who are suddenly all brakes, which is weird, or people who are all gas, which, you wouldn't expect, right? And then you have, obviously, the mental demilitarized zone, the demented zone that Glenn Beck is in, and Tim Pool and others, where they're just kind of like, I don't know, it's probably going to destroy us all, but it's kind of awesome. So, just prepare to be destroyed. But while you're at it, enjoy the ride. Or like, it's so stupid. Where the practical world, the more you're involved in the practicalities of it, the more you actually look into and use it, you're like, okay, I can see the limitations of this, and I can see things it shouldn't be allowed to do and things that it should be allowed to do, and we got to mix and match. right? We will by use cases. And if you're judging the models that are around right now by 2 years ago, it's like judging, I don't know, the civil rights law now versus 1962. So, a couple of things. One is the what's called physical AI. You're going to hear a bunch about this. There's two things: sovereign AI and physical AI. Physical AI is obviously robots and devices. AI, obviously putting it in a robot and having a C3PO, easy to understand, easy to appreciate, I suppose. OpenAI is apparently creating what they think is a new device which they have this guy, Johnny Ives, who used to work at Apple. And they're creating and it's so funny, their device is a portable speaker with a microphone that may or may not have a screen, but will probably have a camera that you can carry around with you, the size of a hockey puck. It'll cost about $300. And let's see, and everybody's already kind of mocking it because nobody's quite sure what the system is that will make this thing. Hold on, why do I have to sign in again, Bloomberg? What's wrong with you? That everybody's trying to figure out what the device is. What's the thing that goes with AI? What's the thing you can sell that isn't just a robust computer that can handle local AI? These guys have no interest in selling that. The AI companies are going to sell stuff that's a communication device where you can talk to your AI device on your own, and it's proprietary to you, but you don't have to bring your phone with you, and it'll take over the need for the phone, or you can bring it from room to room in your house or whatever. But to some degree, like, Google already has that little puck thing that plugs in. If they just made it battery operated, it's kind of the same thing. The HomePod minis are these little speakers in them. You put a camera on one of those, that's basically the device. And yet it's just shy of, like, nobody's going to carry one of those, tennis ball size things around in the house, right? So you have too many gadgets already. Well, the idea is that they want to replace the other gadgets. I have been working on for a while something that I think lines up more with, and this is not me selling a product yet, but one of the things that early on, when we were starting to talk to Pi on the show and some of the other things, one of the issues that in the early models, especially, that if you were talking to them, they didn't understand when you weren't talking to them. That, if you were talking to somebody else, it would answer as if they're the only person in the room. They're the social awkwardness of the people that programmed them, right? And so what I was thinking was, we just need a push to talk button. That's really all they need. Like, if you had a Ring that had a button on it that it only listens when you're holding that, or like the button in Star Trek, the comm in Star Trek, where you'd go, computer, blah, 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 blah. And then when you're done, you tap it, it stops listening to you, so you can talk to everybody else and it's not interrupting, right? That's the thing, okay? That seems the simplest thing of all. And if you're going to have this system throughout your whole house, in your HomePods through Siri or in Google Home or Alexa, or which is clearly how they think this is going to go, all you need is a mute button you can wear all the time, or carry with you, or have in the room. Like, if you walk in the room, just like a light switch, if you don't want the lights on, you don't turn the light switch. And if you don't want the thing listening, you don't push the listen button. That should be, you could have hardwired ones in walls and that kind of stuff if you're really worried about it. But you could also have a small clicker. Like, how easy would that fucking be? Instead of some dipshit, like, walking around your house with like a hockey puck and you're just going to drop it everywhere. Go get groceries out of your car and then come back carrying that thing in your fucking pocket or whatever the hell it is. It's just silly. Anyway, so this is the talk about the device right now. Highly anticipated, is it now? New device from OpenAI will have a unique look. That's you know how you unique up on it. All right. Complete with moving parts that help it give it personality. That's interesting. Moving parts that get what? It's got eyebrows like a dog, and likely will cost more than $300, according to people familiar with the matter. The product, essentially a smart speaker without a display, which most smart speakers already don't have, will be shaped like a donut that's roughly the size of a hockey puck, said people who asked not to be identified because the work is confidential. The idea is to make the device easy to carry around the home with one hand. That would be the hole in the middle of it. So you can, if your hands are full, you can still carry it, guys. You know what I'm saying? All right. Might need to be bigger than a hockey puck. And I'm going to have to talk to the design team. Anyways, OpenAI is looking to break new ground with the product, which is slated for release in 2027. The device will be positioned as an AI-first computer that can help users get things done. The people said, and the design would help it stand out from current smart speakers, a category dominated by Amazon, Alphabet, Google, and of course, Apple, whatever. They can't say Apple in it in the interviews because they're being sued by Apple. The new hardware will also give OpenAI a chance to show it's not cribbing from Apple Incorporated's design. The two companies are locked in a legal battle. There you go. A representative for San Francisco-based OpenAI declined to comment on its product plans, of course. Though OpenAI eventually plans to offer a family of devices, the smart speaker is seen as a way to ease into the market. So, yes, it is. And here's why. I have, you guys know, when I play with Nerd Halen, I got the Meta smart glasses, and I use them because you can live stream to Instagram with them. That's basically the only reason why them over ones that are just a microphone. They have no display on the glass, not the ones I have. The new one does, but I don't know that I would use it. Unless it'd be good for lyrics on songs I don't know yet. That would be kind of cheating though. But those glasses are fine. But the only thing they add is a camera. If you have a set of earbuds, you can make a phone call through. You can talk to your AI on your phone if you use voice mode using your headphones. Any headphones, any Bluetooth headphones. So the idea that anybody's going to come into the market with this, and believe me, I can't wait for the new retro where the guys who had the one-ear headset, remember those douchebags? And yes, I wanted to be one at one point, and then I saw who was wearing them, and I was like, shit. But like where people would just wear the mouthpiece or whatever, that in and of itself that would work fine. If you want a smart device to talk to your AI and that alone, Bluetooth it to your fucking phone and use it. You don't need some $300 hockey puck. Right? It's silly. But there will be stuff at some point. There will be something. They're going to be, that will replace the phone because that's kind of the point. All right. The other thing too is that the U.S. has banned all the Unitree robots, the humanoid ones, anyways. I think the crickets, the dogs that they stole from Boston Dynamics. What's up, Boston Brian? These guys, the Unitree humanoids and stuff, and they are, and this U.S. bans foreign-made humanoid robots targeting China over national security. Okay, we've been through this with DJI, and rightly so. DJI has a lot of, obviously potential spyware in it and that kind of stuff. It would be, I think a lot of people are using AI, ironically enough, to change the software or rewrite the firmware in their DJI drones so that they no longer, send your video to China or whatever they were worried about, or track you, using the GPS stuff in it. But the idea that you would just do it with the humanoids when the cricket dogs would be equally a problem is the thing. But again, these are the FCC ban. Oh, it does include it. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. It does include new imports of quadruped robots, often referred to as four-legged robot dogs. They look like crickets. I'm just saying. The agency said imports of advanced robots pose cybersecurity and other national security risks. This is absolutely true. Offshore production of such equipment also leaves the U.S. supply chains vulnerable to disruptions. Ban on power inverters, which used to convert DC into AC, are used as in renewable energy systems, data centers, and household appliances, would have sweeping ramifications because they've got all sorts of tracking data in them as well. So this is, I guess, the new versions of such imports, because now they've folded into the idea that China is actually going, oh, they're just going to buy all these things? Why don't we just put a little listening chip in it? By the time they find out, it's too late. They'll throw it out and they'll buy the new one from us. So let's see. I use AI as a monster search engine. It still makes errors. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's still growing as we go. I'm going to look at the super chats real quick. Thank you, Jimmy, for the Keep It Together fund. Means a lot. And Corntech, thank you for the tips ahoy. Definitely needed. AI's a coming. Hide your heart, girls. That's right, bingo. Sean quit it. That's true, but I appreciate it. And thank you for the pair. And DC22577, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I wish there was a way that I could highlight questions in this chat. It would be really helpful. Like, on Twitch, I think it's an exclamation point before the sentence or something that makes it stand out. We need to find some system for that. I'll work on it. That'll be an AI task. But you guys know I'm a big fan of robots. My goal is to eventually have, I think, a figure 3 here, if Summer will let me eventually. But the real story about these things is the conversation that is happening. How am I doing on time? I'm good. Okay. The conversation that we're having about AI is unfortunately far below the complexity of the subject itself. And I feel like I'm talking in circles, or people might feel like I'm dismissive of their concerns when I start diving into how complex these things are. And I'm not, just so you know. I just happen to think we have environmental regs and rules that are necessary, and the areas that would let a data center come in and ruin the environment are the same ones that would allow Trump to put a coal plant there. There are all kinds of polluting technologies, and it's up to the locals to, you've got to vote, you've got to participate in your democracy ahead of time, knowing that this will be a reality you're going to deal with. There's going to be new technologies that come along, new circumstances that might affect your environment or your lifestyle or your society or your culture. And you got to be aware of this. You can't just go, I don't know, let's just roll the dice. That, again, if you're ever confronted with a choice you think is between the lesser of two evils, choose less evil. You have to make the adult choice in this situation. And if you know there's a group of people that don't believe in climate change, don't believe in that pollution's a problem, or environmental science, or any of that kind of stuff, or don't believe in vaccines, or don't believe in, it's like the idea of putting any of them in charge of something is madness. Like, it's, I need to look at that guy too. So will AI bots be trained to clean my cat's litter boxes in 3 cats? Yes, actually. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try, I'll see if I can find it. They literally had, one of the things they were training this robot to do, and it's just going to show me robot cat boxes. I have to do humanoid. Whoops. Let's see if I can find this guy. It was part of like them demoing some of the the home uses. Let's just go take the one of the things that they taught it to do was to sift through the cat box and identify the turds and scoop them out and put them in a bag. Let's see. I'm trying. Let's see. Yeah, I don't want to go too far back into the last little bit, but the X1, the Figure 3, they're all capable of doing that. They really are. Let's see if we can get it this week. There you go. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it immediately in here. It was sort of one of those things where they had a single clip in the in an entire video of stuff. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. Yeah. I got it. So apparently there's a new Figure 3 thing. Oh boy. So exciting. Apparently it can climb a ladder now. Yeah. Okay. They don't. Yeah, I already watched that. I don't know if I watched that one with you guys or if I watched it on my own. It's so hard. Such a low distinction. Figure 3. I'll just do climbs ladder. Yeah.
Figure has reached another
Shut up. Turn the audio on. Where's the mute? I don't want it to speak, you know.
important milestone.
There we go. This guy right here. So this is the Figure 3 climbing a ladder. Now, that's kind of a big deal. Again, balancing and all that kind of stuff is one thing, but this thing has to like hold on and readjust itself in a way that we take for granted. But now it knows how to do it. And then once it knows how to do it, they all know how to do it. It's the 100 monkey theory. Yeah, and Andrea saw that one. Let's see. Okay. Have you looked at Project Jupiter yet? Yes. Hold on one second. Let me bring this up. Let me show people what that is. If we're talking about the same thing. Yeah, this is the giant data center, the 1,400 acre one, which is actually smaller than the Meta one. The Meta one's 2,000 square feet, or 2,000 acres, I guess. This is this guy. Okay. That's the rendering for the project. That's not actually the thing itself. You know, again, these are not surprising spaces. The main one, building A, I'm guessing A, B, C, and D would be the primary data center part of it. And there's a warehouse for other stuff over here. And then there's the, oh, look, that's right. I don't have to worry about disappearing. And then this is the kind of office and operations. And there's a secure exit. Isn't that nice? So that in case, and a security fence, so people don't jump over it, set it on fucking fire. And advocacy, listen to me. An advocacy group argues Project Jupiter's application for an air quality permit should be thrown out because the natural gas pipeline that would fuel the massive southern New Mexico data centers, so please go away, has yet to be legally authorized. So they're going to run it on natural gas. I guess the presumption is that if they go ahead with it, they're going to have to run it on something else except natural gas, and therefore their air quality permit should be thrown out, even if that's their projected thing, because they're going to be up and running before the gas pipeline gets there, unless they're going to fund the gas pipeline and make it happen faster. Yeah. In a motion filed Tuesday, New Energy Economy noted State Land Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard has twice denied a Project Jupiter related application, most recently last month, to run a portion of natural gas pipeline through the state trust land. The pipeline, dubbed the Green Chile Lateral, is seemingly the only way to supply the expected 400 million cubic feet of gas the data center will require each day. Whether Project Jupiter will ever exist now depends upon an entirely separate administrative proceeding challenging the commissioner's denial of the Green Chile Lateral pipeline. That appeal has not even begun. It may take years. It may never succeed. It has the ability to deliver approximately 400 million cubic feet of natural gas every day. Is not merely one feature of Project Jupiter. It is the project. Without the fuel, there is no electric generation. Without electric generation, there is no data center. Okay, this is exactly what Rob Glenn and I have been talking about. The big fear about data centers themselves is they're going to use up all the water. They're going to use up all the energy. They're going to, destroy the environment. They're going to destroy the land, blah, blah, blah. The problem is, to destroy the land, you have to have the labor and the machinery to dig up the ground in the first place. You got to be able to level the area. If you don't have the workers or the available machinery on hand to do it, you can't. Then you need the materials to build the structure, the building itself. And if that's a reach, you're going to be way behind. Then you need the chips. And again, this is the primary purpose of this goddamn thing. You need the chips to run the thing. And the NVIDIA Vera Rubin chips are like a year behind minimum. So again, by the time this thing gets on its feet, it may not even be necessary anymore. Will the big frontier models need big data centers for stuff to keep running something like ASI or AGI or something for the government? Maybe. But as local models get better, honest to God, they're going to move to your laptop. They're going to move to your desktop. And that's the one you're going to use. You're not going to rent it from anybody else. You're going to update it if you have a subscription like you would with Photoshop. But you're not going to send your requests out to to a data center and then have it come back. You're going to do it right on site. That's what the sovereign AI movement is going to be all about. And that's really where we're headed. So if I can run, here, let me show you something here. This is crucial. We'll talk about this in the tail end of this. Let me open this guy up, and I'm going to close this down because it's going to eat up all my RAM on this computer. And then I'm going to open Ollama. Ollama, can you hear? All right. Okay. Whoops. Come here. So this is, where's Troy? The new chat. Select the model. We'll go to Minimax M3 Cloud. Okay, sorry. I don't want the cloud version. I want this one. There we go. Let's see how well this does real quick. And this is just a straight up, oh, why'd you go to the other channel? Did I push the wrong one? What are you going over here for? That's very silly. Go back over here. That is the right screen, but here you go. I just move this over here. Why are you? Move this guy over there so I can see what I'm doing. And then, so this is Ollama. Ollama, I'm in fear for my life from the long arm of the law. Lawman is putting an end to my running, and I'm so far from my home. So, Ollama is a sort of a housing unit for other models, and there are I think I've only got 4 in here because it has DeepSeek. I do not have that downloaded. I think this one has to be downloaded or whatever, but and then there's 2 cloud versions. There's the Gemma Cloud and the Minimax Cloud right there. Okay, those use other data centers. This one that I'm on does not. Hiya. It's got to download the model. So that's what's happening. So I just hit this. As soon as I ask it a question, it's going to reach out and download this localized model. And we'll see how long it takes to actually do that. It's at 7%. It happened pretty quickly. But this model that I'm downloading will live on my computer. And it will only use as much power as my computer uses. Now, these are Have you noticed Perplexity is running really slow? Well, it's interesting because Perplexity allows you to use whatever model. It's more of a harness these days. So, cuidado, la llama. Yes, the Perplexity depends. It depends on which model you're using, right? Thank you so much. Anyone can set up a small local AI and share it with its friends. 20 people can build a very powerful system for $4,000 free AI for all. That's absolutely true, Osborne. Absolutely true. And there's, on my list, I'm saving up for a completely local AI computer. I'm more than likely I will use the NVIDIA one, because I won't use it for anything else. If I get an Apple Studio and max it out to the level it could do this, on the level that the NVIDIA one does, I will want to use it for everything else, music and editing and all that kind of stuff. So I will double the work on it. This will just be its own thing. And once that happens, I could actually share, you're absolutely right. I could give people, that I work with on the show, or Summer, or my kid or her kid, access to it, and they could use that brain, remotely, as long as it's always on, and yeah. Let's see, hell, I have 5 or 6 spare GPUs. Going to stuff those in a rack and run it distributed. That's exactly right, Sarasota. And then again, you're a data center, but you're a data center using, maybe, 60 watts of power or 100 watts max. Yeah, NVIDIA 5090s are going for twice the MSRP. Yeah, precisely, because people are doing the local thing. And that's where this is headed, folks. You can make an OK system for 500. I already have. I'm running on a Mac Mini here. And downloading this one, and the distributed memory of the Mac ones, there's no license on these. It isn't like software. There just isn't one. So it's almost done cooking. Got a couple more. Downloading the model, and this is again the Gemma 4, 26 billion parameters. Licensing will probably prevent large distribution. It doesn't matter. The distribution part of it, the licensing is for the big, robust models. Just saw the U.S. economy lost 23,000 jobs. And, oh, wait, Kelly, they revised down the last 2 months. So it's closer to 100,000 jobs lost. Hey there. I'm demoing this for my audience. Can you tell me a little about yourself as a model? Now I'm typing like shit, but there we go. Demoing the AI to an audience wants information. So this is its thinking process. This is a thinking model. So it's going through and reasoning what I said, translating what I did. This is the activity. You're watching it actually go through there. Sounds exciting. I'm happy to help you with your demo. Since you're presenting to an audience, I'll provide a structured overview that covers who I am, what I can do, and how I function. What is this AI? Identity in Orange. I'm a large language model trained by Google. Think of me as a highly advanced piece of software designed to understand, process, and generate human-like, text-based, and vast amount of information I was trained on. Core capabilities. I'm a general-purpose AI, which means I don't have just one job. I can perform a wide variety of content creation, summarization, analysis, problem-solving and reasoning, language translation, transformation, brainstorming partner. How do I work? The magic behind the curtain. I don't know things the way a human does. Instead, I operate on pattern recognition, which is what I talked about earlier. Important limitations keep in mind. I can hallucinate. There's no sentience. I have no feelings, beliefs, consciousness, or physical body. I'm a sophisticated mathematical model. Knowledge cutoffs. While I can access information through Google search, my underlying training data has limited meaning. What has a limit, meaning I may not be aware of events happening at this very second unless I use my search capabilities. Impress your audience by showing a before and after or a complex to simple prompt. For example, Here's a complex legal paragraph. Now, can you explain this to me like I'm 5 years old? Here's a miss. Okay, yeah. Good luck with your presentation. Yeah, that's great. So, can they get rid of cat turd? This for real, and now for something completely different. A man with a tape recorder up his nose. Yes, past revision showed 100,000 gone. So, this model. Let's see. Can you explain the most recent? I don't know if it go most recent. It'll get confused by that. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN and what it is used for. So this again, this is a local one, and look at how the thinking is on this thing. Like it's and part of the reason why you can wait for an answer and you're like comfortable waiting for an answer is because you can actually see it thinking. Going through it, and it's listing what it knows. Since you're performing a demo, I'll provide an explanation of 3 different levels. Level 1, the ELL 5. Explain it like I'm 5. Okay, that's good. So it's showing. Imagine you have 2 very powerful Swiss watches. If you smash them together at incredibly high speeds, they will break into tiny pieces, gears and springs and screws. By looking at all those tiny broken pieces, you can learn exactly how a watch is built. The Large Hadron Collider does this, but with much smaller things called particles. All right, there we go. Level 2, the general audience, and then level 3, the scientific technical version. And then note the technical scientific version, rewrite it as a short dramatic movie trailer script. These are things you can do, but this is fairly fast. Like this is robust and well enough. This is better than a model 2 years ago that was only available by subscription. Where do you think this is going? Do you think the open source available models are going to remain stagnant and only do certain things, and the frontier models are going to keep moving ahead? Or do you think these cheap ones are going to these free ones are going to dovetail behind them? Ask AI what it thinks, and you'll get it different. You'll get different answers. Yeah, different ones have different approaches too, how they've been trained and why. But yeah, so let's see. How would I set up a home AI server locally with voice and ability to run my smart home? All right, we'll just do something like that. There you go. Now it is thinking that the way this local model is operating is it's still in the same chat. So it's going back to the top of this chat and looking at what we were talking about and going, okay, he's demoing, so therefore I will approach this like I'm doing a demo. But one of the best use cases of AI that I've been telling people for quite some time is it's a manual. That's all it is. It's the manual for everything. If you want to know how something works and you need to wire something in your house, you need to fix something. Now, again, don't electrocute yourself. But if you want to know how a device in your, the features on your phone, your fridge, your microwave, you take a picture of it, give it to it and go, hey, how do I just want to warm something up with this and it's not really clear. How do I do it? Hey, this light switch doesn't seem to do anything in the room. How would I find out where it goes? That kind of stuff, where it goes and what it's hooked up to. Okay, so the local intelligence architecture, and this is, by the way, something, for those of you that don't know, is something I'm already working on. So that's why I asked this specifically. I'm building an AI for our house called Luna, that we can talk to, and it's just proprietary to here and us, right? That it's going to use a local model to, take care of house stuff, the lights, the locks, the, any of the sensors in the house, when it's time to change the filters, the carbon monoxide sensors, those kind of things, right? And I can ask it like, hey, when do we have to change our filters? Those kind of things, right? and it'll say, right? So the brain, to understand the general language, you need an LLM. The ears and mouth are an STT, speech to text, text to speech, which is like a thing called Whisper that a lot of people use. The nervous system, which is home automation. I use the software that actually flips the light switches. That's like some people use Hue. I use Home Assistant. Home Assistant has a built-in AI that you can talk to in it that's not as robust. So it can kind of act as the agent that deals with the light switches and all that stuff. And the home AI can talk to it. The hardware, the physical server, and the microphones and all that stuff around the house. Right. So the hardware, a powerful desktop PC or a Mac, M1, M2, M3 chips are excellent for this. I agree. The brain, Ollama, it's a one-click installation, allows you to run models like Llama 3 or Mistral locally. The nervous system, Home Assistant, right, there you go. Installed on a Raspberry Pi or an old laptop. I have it installed on a Raspberry Pi. I use the Home Assistant Green, which is basically that in a little case. The integration, use the local AI integration Home Assistant to connect Ollama to your smart lights. User experience, you go, hey, Luna, turn off the lights. Hey, Luna, turn on the lights in the living room. Instead of just your TV says, you know, Siri, or your TV says Alexa, and shit goes sideways and stuff starts happening in your home, you can name it at whatever you want, a localized name. So the intermediate setup, an old PC with an NVIDIA GPU, there an ESP32S3 microcontrollers. I have a bunch of those. Tiny cheap chips with microphones placed around the house. The ears, OpenAI Whisper, running locally. It's incredibly accurate at turning your spoken words into text. That's the OpenAI made this, and this is an open source text to speech, speech to text software. Running Whisper on a CPU is slow. Running it on a GPU makes it instant, which is why you put it on a Mac or one of the NVIDIAs. Protocol, Wyoming protocol. This acts as the language that allows your microphones, the SP32 chips. I have mine downstairs. I will bring those next time and show you guys what I'm doing. Just send audio to your main server and receive voice back. They also have, Home Assistant has these little towers that look like rectal thermometers that you can just set around the house. They're little white things, and they can be your Whisper nodes. They're kind of like how HomePod works or whatever. And then the pro setup, which is this guy, the Autonomous Agent, a dedicated server rack with high VRAM GPUs and a high-speed local network. Okay, we're close to that. The Brain, which is instead of a simple chatbot, use your AI agent framework like AutoGPT or LangChain or Hermes or OpenClaw was one of the other ones. Advanced capability. You give AI tools that the AI has access to your security camera feeds via LLM vision and your energy monitoring sensors, the magic use case. The AI notices via camera that you're carrying heavy grocery bags. It doesn't wait for a command. It proactively decides to unlock the front door, turn on the kitchen light because it reasoned that you need help. True ambient intelligence. The house anticipates needs based on visual and sensor data without being prompted. So this is the big thing. Pro tip for you: if you want to drive the point home and why people should do that, why people do this, emphasize the kill switch argument. In a cloud-based home, if your internet goes down and the company decides to change a subscription, or charge a subscription, beg your pardon, or they change the privacy policy, your house stops working. In a local setup, you own the intelligence. You literally unplug your house from the internet, and it will still know exactly what you, who you are, and how to turn off the lights. And that's the key. This is the future of all of this, because already there are models smart enough to run local AI that would help you control, that would help you voice control your house. Does it take some tinkering? Do you have to be a tinkerer like me to do it? Yes-ish. But it's getting easier and easier, and proprietary home AI systems are gonna be the way. And I would argue that any new home build in these kind of tract homes they're building and shit like that, within the next 2 years, they will come with a home assistant with an AI built into it that you can swap out for a better one if you upgrade it, but it works the same way your home has a fiber optic or a modem or something hooked up to it, that kind of thing. It will work the exact same way. And so when you buy the house, they'll go, oh, hey, by the way, this one uses the FARG 45, and we can also put in the Simcus 972 or whatever. Your little, it's just housed in the wall, and there's a little panel over there, and you can swap it out for a new CPU or a GPU as it upgrades pretty easily, but the house is run off that guy and it should last you 10 years. Will that be in the HOA? No, because it would be just yours. It'd be, and it has nothing to do with the homeowner's visual aspect of the house. They will fight to have it subscription model, and they will make you sign so that they have access to your data. But they can't though, Rob. That's what I'm saying. They can't make you. Because again, all right, hold on. Let me show you. Let me keep going because I know there's concerns. And again, I'm running. This is a local model, no subscription. The software it's running on is free. The model itself is, I can train it and create my own specific proprietary version of it here at home with files it has access to, and only that. I can let it go to the web and look for shit if I want to, or keep it completely isolated. That's up to me, because it's not these super frontier models that can break out of the box. It's got limitations of its own reasoning and capability, which is kind of good, right? So you want that kind of limit on these things. Now, let me go back to here, and I will show you the. Does this make you guys, okay, chat room, more nervous, less nervous about this technology? What I'm talking about. The idea that you would wire one up in your home and it would be your own to monitor and take care of. Maybe some people would go, I'd rather have a subscription to something because I don't feel like I would know what I was doing and it might run away and shut all my lights off, or turn all my faucets on and I'd run out of water, something like that. Or if you're like, no, I'd rather have the ability to tell it to knock it the fuck off and not have to pay anyone for that. So, So this guy, there's a couple of these. Dink. Trying to find a decent picture of the thing. These have gotten more expensive, like by $1,000, because of the cost of RAM specifically right now. But that'll come back down. Yeah. So here's this guy. And are these things expensive? Yeah. But again, you could set up an AI on this and never need a subscription. So this is it, though. This is the DGX Spark AI desktop supercomputer. It's got a Blackwell chip in it. Doesn't have a Vera Rubin. That's the one that's in the big data centers, but this is the next best thing. And it's got, I think, 128 gigs of RAM, which is why it's now $1,000 more expensive than it was when they first put it out. It was set at 4. It's about this big, and it sits wherever. Yeah, that's the new tip jar. I don't know why it reverted back to that when I moved the systems. But if you guys like it, I'll leave it. I don't care. But thank you for the support, and I appreciate you guys. But this specifically, like these kind of things, will come down in price too. Think of top of the line, chip that or like a Mac laptop from 10 years ago, and that's like happening. This is happening at speed. So imagine what the next iteration of this and the next iteration of this, because of the speed of and the demand on the chips themselves, the adaption is going to be so much higher, which means the local models you could run on this would be enormous and plenty fine. They fit the Rob Glenn 99% rule. I just think about the average. What use have they for you? Don't know what you mean. Okay. Will lead to more thumb twiddling. You say that like it's a bad thing. Be honest, did you buy it because it's a Spark? I haven't bought it yet, but they definitely were trying to coax me. I feel very manipulated. My 2-year-old place was designed for Wi-Fi, so there is a cable run to a box in the wall of the laundry room, which feeds cable drops, but houses modem Terra drive. That's awesome. This place has no wiring in it. So we're having to use a 6G Wi-Fi system, and I'm plugged directly into one of the Wi-Fi hotspots in the house to get the ability, and it seems to work pretty well. Again, video is video is video. But oh, you were responding to another Rush lyric. I see. No worries. So let's see. There we go. It would be useful if I was seriously disabled. Well, that's the thing. So, I genuinely, my mom's 81, and my dad had his wife, and so and me at the end. I mean, I was with him when he was hospicing, and now I worry about my mom being by herself, and my stepmom being by herself, and there are definitely parts of this where if I could get a small robot in their house that if they fell could help them, could sense things and call the police, like a life alert kind of thing, but specifically maybe help them up if they're not totally they don't need to go to the hospital. Those kind of things, I look forward to the potential for those things because I think of all the lives that could be saved by something as simple as that. And again, would it be better if everybody could afford a nurse at home for all their older parents? Yes, it would be lovely. Would it also be lovely if everyone could just have them move in with their kids? One of the reasons we moved was so that we have a room in case my mom or Summer's mom, needs it eventually. That was one of the big primary reasons. But until that point, you can't make them until it's really, until they can't say no, I guess. That's a real concern, right? That's something that you could ease a lot of people's anxiety about a relative or something like that if they had at least a minor smart home thing that was available, kind of like the Life Alert, but also interactive and helpful. So it's not just for tragedies. It's not just for difficulties. It's for life support and living support, I guess would be a better phrase on that. So, my landlord always walks around with a shopping cart because he kept on falling. Well, it's a poor man's walker, sure. There are apps on smartphones where you can keep an eye on people. My friend has it for her dad. Yeah, I'm definitely part of that. 120 meg RAM that uses like 3,000 USD. Used to be less, but the AI bubble is it? Yeah. They inflated the price of RAM is really expensive right now because it's being sucked up for all these things, and yet there's still a giant consumer demand for these because Apple's having to pause some of their advances. I definitely want to get a new Mac Mini here for the show because this one's on the edge of issues, hence the crunchy audio. It's reaching the limits of its processing power, but they're not going to be able to release they were supposed to come out, I think, in the spring, and now they're looking at October, maybe even December before they can come out because of RAM. Yep. So here's it. Oh, wait, I love it. Dr. Theopolis, thank you for bringing that up, JWB. I have brought this up several times lately that I was like, I'm naming the AI we have in the house Luna because I was going to call it Moon, but Summer likes Luna better, and since it's got a lady voice, and I was like, that'll be really cool. But when the OpenAI thing, their little hockey puck donut thing came out, I was like a mini Dr. Theopolis. Just was Dr. Theopolis ever human? No, he was not. And as a matter of fact, part of the story in Buck Rogers is that they fucked up so bad. Humanity had a nuclear war and they fucked up so bad. They decided to hand over control of their society and those kind of things, whether they would go to war and how, to these AIs, to these these 8 like I don't know, they were like, they look like the clock that Flavor Flav wore, like about that size. Does Luna have a British accent? Of course, she's going to. Actually, she might, if I can, I'm going to have her have an Irish accent for that, you know. Luna, do this, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, so they handed over control of the society because they had basically destroyed themselves, and that didn't stop them from having, you know, rocket ships with lasers and fighting wars with you know, the Draconians and whatever. But it was still like, it was humanity had this decision, like, okay, if we do this, we fucked shit up before. It's you know, it's a little silly. It's not as silly as Book of Eli, but it's close. Yeah, I loved Buck Rogers largely because I had a huge Aaron Gray crush, to be completely frank. Oh my God. Yeah. Brutal. Oh, thank you, Mamie. Yeah, so here's what I would suggest if people are concerned about the A and the I and the stuff like that. One is, again, dip your toe in it and look at it, and you'll see that its limitations make it less scary. You'll go, okay, I can see where this can do stuff and where it can't, where it, you know, nobody would hand something hugely important over to this. But for stuff that just you're curious about, it works like Google search with a little bit of personality, that kind of thing. Let me see if, I don't know if this will, I suppose it would. Hold on. Let's go to here and go, here we go. Good morning. I think my mic's working. Oh, can you hear me?
I'm right here, Hal. All good. What do you need me to focus on for you right now? Let's break it down and handle it piece by piece.
Excellent. You remember the conversation we were having the other day about the necessity of data centers and local models, and whether or not we're actually going to get to a point where they may not be obsolete in terms of giant frontier models, but the localization of AI, I predict, will be a huge trend. Remember when we talked about that?
Absolutely. I recall that discussion. You were pointing out how smaller local models might increasingly handle real-time tasks right on personal devices, making huge centralized infrastructure less of a bottleneck. It's a strong prediction. I'm curious, do you want to refine how you see that trend developing now, or apply it to a specific project you're working on?
Well, no, one of the big projects that everybody is concerned about is this Project Jupiter. I think it's in Texas, and how much water and energy it will use, whether it's going to get a gas pipeline that goes through public lands and that kind of stuff. And they haven't even broken ground on the thing. And I'm wondering if by the time they possibly pull the plug on the thing, they'll move to maybe 4 smaller data centers instead of these ginormous single, 2,000 acre spaces.
It's entirely plausible that the trajectory shifts toward modularity. Smaller distributed data centers could mitigate both resource intensity and political resistance. By the time that kind of mega project breaks ground, shifts in tech efficiency, regulatory pressure, or even local AI model demand might favor regional scaling. If you're tracking that project or ones like it, it might be worth keeping an eye on whether they start pivoting toward more agile infrastructure.
Right. Beg your pardon.
Sometimes
It was in New Mexico, and I think you're right. I think the modular part of it. There's also this thing that NVIDIA was talking about, where they would put a data brick on your house. You would get free internet, but they would use that thing when you weren't using your computer, I suppose, as a linked data center thing through, I guess, neighborhoods maybe that have to have fiber optic or something along those lines. You know anything about that?
Yes, that concept, often called edge computing, pushes data processing closer to the user. In that scenario, your house or neighborhood becomes a tiny node in a distributed network. In exchange for something like free connectivity, they'd tap unused computing resources during off-peak times. It's technically feasible, but scaling that model would rely on a lot of infrastructure consistency. Still, it reflects the broader trend you're tracking, decentralizing heavy AI tasks.
Yeah, and I think they might be piloting that thing to see if it can help during the transition phase while they're building out these data centers too. Because if you're trying to get one off the ground and you're running into problems with the locals, you're running into problems with power and available resources. One of your ways around that is maybe, in the 4 years it takes you to try and, get just from the planning to the break ground stage on something, you could have been creating this distributed system across an entire city.
Exactly. It's a form of transitional scalability. While a giant data center is a multi-year endeavor, deploying these distributed nodes can fill the gap, not only providing some capacity now, but potentially defusing local opposition. In other words, while big infrastructure is slow, distributed solutions let you essentially bootstrap capacity and trust along the way. We'll see if they can solve both the technical and social puzzles that come with it.
Yeah, I have my my doubts because I think they're going to have to find workarounds simply because of the resources available. I don't necessarily think it's the political pushback or the environmental aspects of it. I think it's quite frankly they just don't have enough wick to light, and they don't have enough explosives to go boom. They just don't have the stuff necessary to build these things.
It's a pragmatic point. No matter how ambitious the blueprint is, if there's a lack of raw materials, energy capacity, or infrastructure, no amount of willpower can conjure them. In that sense, distributed solutions may not just be strategic, but inevitable. So it's wise to keep an eye on resource limitations as much as political or environmental factors. They all intersect in this build-out reality.
Yeah. So, by the way, I'm on the air on Friday Eye right now, and we're talking in front of my audience. So if you want to say hi to them and remind them to subscribe, that would really be helpful.
Hello to everyone watching Friday AI. I hope you're enjoying the conversation. If you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Glad you're here.
Yeah, that's I like it. Very relaxed approach. That was good. I think I think you won somebody over. Everybody says thank you. So not everybody, but a lot of people. So I guess what I want to leave them with a thought on localizing their function of AI and not just leaving it up to the big frontier models, and starting to, find a way that if these tools are available to them, how it might make their life better beyond just the whole, like, it can book me a vacation and all the weird sales points. You and I had this talk about how there are the people that are designing these things. I made this point the other day, and if you could remind or tell everybody in a concise way what I was talking to you about, was the idea that the big corporate models are selling, like, you won't need workers, you won't need to hire people, you'll save money on labor, and you'll save money on compute power, I guess, to some degree. And the designers at the actual AI firms are selling this idea, like, you don't need friends, it will talk to you and be your friend, and it will book tickets for you. So you don't have to interact with any humans at all. And I was making the point, if you'll recall, that they're missing the entire middle, largely because they're just talking around small business. They're talking, they're not aware that I don't need it to replace friends. We were talking about removing friction.
Precisely. The real opportunity and what you were driving at is not replacing human connection or eliminating workers, but instead using AI to reduce friction, making workflows smoother, freeing up time, and enhancing what small businesses and individuals can do. It's not about avoiding people, it's about enabling them. So to the viewers, think of AI as a tool that can reduce hassle, but still keep you engaged with the people and tasks that actually matter to you.
Yeah, I mean, there are other technologies we used. What were some of the ones that I brought up that we used to eliminate the friction of, say, vacationing, like Christmas vacation? Remember that?
Absolutely. You mentioned things like GPS navigation replacing paper maps, online booking systems replacing travel agents, and even self-check-in at airports. Each step didn't remove the joy of the vacation, It just took away those little frictions so you could get to the fun faster. The principle's the same with AI. Keep the human moments, just smooth out the logistics.
Yeah, and I also brought up just the fact of having a car versus a wagon or riding a bicycle.
Exactly. Owning a car doesn't make the journey less meaningful. It just removes the friction of distance or effort, letting you focus on where you're going. That's the mindset shift. AI isn't about replacing relationships or purpose. It's a tool to make getting there easier.
Right. And you can make the decision between driving to, a vacation or driving someplace or riding your bicycle if the journey itself is more important. And we can always make that distinction ourselves.
Absolutely. You choose when the journey matters most and when you just need to get from point A to point B. AI's role at its best is to let you make that call, not to dictate it.
Yep.
So keep control of the wheel.
Yeah.
And let
So
the tech
I did I brought up earlier that it's kind of like a spice in cooking for people who are new to it. That AI can be the spice that allows you to, add a level of quality or flavor to what you're doing beyond just the removing of friction. It can function like that. You don't use the same spice all the time. You may not even use spices all the time. But when you do want it there, it can enhance the experience.
That's a great analogy. It's about intentional enhancement. You don't need AI in every recipe, just like you don't want every meal to taste the same. But when used thoughtfully, it can elevate the experience, whether it's removing friction or adding that extra flavor of creativity or efficiency.
Yep.
Always your choice.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. And thanks so much. And I will talk to you later. Have a great day. There you go. Oh, sorry. I dumped out on her, but she's, yeah. So that's, I had this, I argue with my AIs a bunch. I'll leave you with this. I argue with them. I will tell them to push back on an idea or check my critical thinking on things. And particularly in areas like this, where because they are pattern recognizing algorithms and mathematically based prediction machines, they will often predict the general consensus unless told otherwise, especially when it's about attitudes and feelings and that kind of stuff. They'll go to what the news is saying. And if the vast majority of news stories are negative about something, then they'll kind of lean into that negativity unless you tell them otherwise, because it's just autofill on steroids in that moment. So be careful, she might have a crush on you. No, she respects me though, and I think that's what's important. Okay, I gotta go. I will see you guys this afternoon. I've got to work on my audio issue because this is gonna drive me nuts, like a steering wheel on my balls. So there it is. Okay, all right. Well, fingers crossed. We shall see, and I will see you guys later on this afternoon. For Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. And and you know what? I think of an upcoming Friday Eye when I know Rob is in here. I'm gonna sit down at the computer and just have it be a follow along while I'm building or working on something. If that would work for people entirely, rather than just following the news and the newest features, like the actual material part of it. I may not even wait till the Friday Eye thing. That may just be a separate thing that I do. But anyways, you're awesome. Stay awesome. And I'll see you soon and all that kind of stuff. And don't be afraid. It's going to be all right. That's right.